It is March 21st, 2021, and welcome to episode 2 of Pineapples and Thorns, Clash Files podcast focusing on all things Clash. In today's episode, we had the pleasure of speaking with two amazing leaders, Carrie Ann from Elite of Valor and Xena from Iron Wolves. We hope you enjoy the show.
Guess I'm ready for war, like I've been here before. Feel the sweat on my hands, it's time to play Clash of Clans. Training my troops up to fight, it's gonna be a long night. Toss and turn in the dark, soon the fighting will start. I wanna be a barbarian.
Welcome back to episode 2 of Pineapples and Thorns, a Clash Files podcast. We are so excited to bring you the second episode. We experienced a few recording issues in the first episode where we couldn't hear each other, but we think we fixed all that. Hopefully this will be a more pleasurable listening experience the second time around. We're super excited to have a couple awesome guests with us today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're listening to this podcast. First, we have myself, TipDog20. We have Kat and Butters, who are with us today. Rusty, unfortunately, couldn't join us. He had to step out. He's having a big move today, but he will definitely be back with us on the next podcast. Kat, how's it going for you?
It's going great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Butters, you doing good?
Doing well. The weather's nice. Good to be here. Big day, Clash.
Everybody's in a good news. You have a 5v5 coming up here soon?
Have that in an hour, so doing a little FC while I talk, so if I scream, you know what.
So if we talk to you and address you and you don't address us back, we'll just assume that you're in the middle of a war attack?
Yeah, and I'll just blame it on disconnection.
That works. It happened last time, so it can always happen again, right? Definitely. Well, we have two amazing guests with us. We're super excited about. We want to bring different topics to you on this podcast, and one of the topics that we wanted to address was how to run a clan, and I guess the stresses and the drama that comes with running a clan. And actually, I'm the only non-clan leader on this podcast team. So Butters and Kat and our two guests are going to bring an awesome podcast to you, and I'm going to be quizzing them on the different aspects of running a clan. But Kat, won't you go ahead and introduce our two guests?
Awesome. I'm really excited to have both of these ladies here with us today. Carrie Ann, leader at Elite of Valor, and she also plays League in a number of highly regarded clans, including KGH Academy and the CWL Season 9 champions, Valor Morgulis. And also Xena, leader of Iron Wolves, and she's been playing Clash since 2012, and her clan has a focus on fun, casual war, but members play in various tournaments and other events. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yay.
I'd like to just ask each of you to tell us a little bit about your Clash history, how long you've been playing, and how long you've been leader at your clan, and any other information that you might want to share with us. Carrie Ann, why don't you go first?
Well, I had to do some research. I figured out that I've been playing for 6 years because the first app I downloaded was Line for communication when I started. Yeah, I still had it. I was amazed. I'm like, yes, password saved. Good. So it's been for sure 6 years. I first started playing in a clan that had nothing to do with any leagues or anything. They were super casual. I went on global. And that's when I found Elite of Valor, probably a year after I was playing casual. And I got adopted by them. I think I was in there complaining about why am I the only one donating troops? And that sparked a conversation. And then I went over there. Been super competitive for the last 5 years for sure. I would fill in, help out, sign up for anything that would have any kind of competition involved. So that's been the start of it. I've been a leader at my clan, Elite of Valor, for at least 3 years. I've been stepping it up a little bit more in the last year and a half. But it's been pretty cool. I didn't know. I'm like, I'm here all the time. I'm playing all the time. I might as well learn how to help out the clan.
Exactly.
So it made sense. I have played in so many different things like ESL, where I've actually have won money, and I've saved a hard copy of the check so I could show my grandchildren how cool I'll be someday.
Did you frame it?
I did not frame it, but it is in my file cabinet. It's still
Very
in the
nice.
envelope it came in.
That's awesome.
I've done queso cups, just any weird tournaments. Like, oh, let me try the undead tourney with like a 5v5 mix. I mean, anything that kind of triggers my interest, I'll throw myself in it 100%. Usually end up creating a group to do it with, but you know what? That's okay. I think I have control issues.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's pretty much my history for the clashing.
Great. Zena, how about you?
Well, let's see. I've been playing since 2012, pretty much since the inception of the game. And I think, like a lot of other people, I was recruited by a friend. So in this case, it was my husband who needed me to donate some troops to him. So he downloaded it onto my phone so I could help him and join his clan. And, after, a couple of weeks, he got bored of it. And here I am hooked. And I find myself playing it on the bus on the way to work and, in the evenings and things like that. And so I just kind of really enjoyed the game from the get go. Absolutely loved it. I think it's that perfect mix of, it's not that difficult to sit down and play. It's not very stressful, but it's fun and it's strategic. And it's just that right amount of challenge and entertainment. And so I've always enjoyed the game. I'm not very good at it. I genuinely am not. I'm not going to win a tournament.
Disagree. You're very good. You're the hybrid goddess.
I have a lot of energy. I'm on a lot and I'm organized. And I think that's what kind of was that key to being able to lead a clan. And I've been leading, I don't know, maybe 6 months into the game. I was leading a clan before, and the leader just kind of stopped playing or he lost interest. So I've just kind of been leading since then. It always takes a team. I've never led by myself. I think that's the most important thing. But I've always enjoyed it. I really have.
Fantastic.
I didn't even know the game existed until one of the kids put it on my phone and I opened it up. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this is kind of cool. And then they stopped playing. And then I just kind of took over and I had to rename the account because it was not exactly what I would have ever named an account.
It does seem to be a common thread that I hear a lot. A lot of parents start playing because their children started or a spouse started, and then they're left holding on to all the accounts because everybody else quits.
Right.
Name change, here we come.
Exactly.
Oh, it was necessary. Trust me.
Barney wasn't a good name.
I don't feel like I can even say it out loud.
I kind of want to hear it.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Awesome.
So my OG account's original name was D's Nuts, and I didn't feel that was.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Well, I am
What's
a
that mean?
girl.
What's that mean, Daddy? What's that mean?
Awesome.
Oh no.
Okay, I want to move on to our next question is, what is your experience as a female clasher? Have you experienced any particular challenges? This game does have a very high percentage of male players. What unique experiences, successes have you had? Do you find the clash community supportive? Carrie-Anne?
Well, the first challenge was trying to inner up my sense of humor. You need to be a little bit more thick-skinned and not take things so literally when male players talking to you when they feel like you're female. Like, this is not a dating app, blah, blah, blah. That you have to set boundaries right away with certain people, especially like in negotiations. Sometimes you can be bullied or belittled because they think I'm just like some random dumb blonde. Once in a while, not all the time, but that still happens still to this day. I had this happen just last week. I have a rapport with a lot of my younger males as like mom. I have like 30 sons, I feel. And I love that because I'll give them advice. I will challenge them. It's kind of nice to look at that because most people respect their moms. So, you can't say anything bad about that. Then the males that are closer to my age, I feel it takes a little bit longer for them to respect a little bit. I feel like I've had to prove in myself through skills, communication, activity, maybe just a little bit harder to gain more equality. It's sad, I guess, maybe in a sense, but then then they're like, oh, you're the go-to, you're involved in more things, more of the conversations, and then you grow with them more like that. I don't think I've ever had a horrible experience. I've had some weird stalkers, but I've been able to take care of that pretty easily. So I'm very blunt. I don't let it get to me because it is what it is. I'm thousands of miles away from you. You're not going to find me. It's all good.
And if they show you disrespect, you just go in and smash their base, right?
Oh, always. I have actually asked a few in negotiations and different leagues. I'm like, so which base is yours? Just casually.
Very nice.
Like,
nice
all right,
touch.
letting my peers know this is mine. Let me take him down. all in all, it's not bad, but you can't take things super personally. You can't be emotional with some comments that are made. If I'd be upset every time I was called bra, oh my gosh, it'd be a bad time. But
Exactly.
there are some little, roller coaster rides, but overall, I'm still doing it, so it must be okay.
How about you, Zena?
I think Carrie Ann hit the nail on the head. You have to have thick skin to play this game. You can't be overly emotional. You also have to take constructive criticism, especially for me, since I'm always learning. I'm going to learn something from somebody who's not a leader. So it's always being open to learning something new, and having that thick skin, because you're going to get called names. If you ever do get emotional as a female leader, they're going to assume that you're just being overly emotional. So you just have to be calm, be chill. Usually works itself out. I think for me, I was year 2 that I was playing Clash of Clans, and one of my clan members said, "Hey, have you heard of the Clash Babes?" And I'm like, "What? Females play this game?" And he's like, "Yes, you need to hook up with some of the other females that play, because they're going to be similar to you, and there's a support group there." And so I went on YouTube and I found a video, and sure enough, there's this whole international group of women who play Clash of Clans. And so I joined them, was very active with them, did a lot of really fun events with them. They had a Discord server that was really fun. They did themed wars, league wars, you name it. And we had a great time. And there's a lot of women who played. And so that really kind of helped me navigate how to lead myself. And then on the side, it helps as a female to play the game. In my personal life, I've only ever worked for the military or been in the military. So the male to female ratio, I work for the Marine Corps now, that it already is a 1 to 10 ratio. So I'm accustomed to it naturally. So for me, it's a good fit. So I've really not had too many issues. You do get that occasional off humor comment. The other thing for me that I thought that not everybody does, and maybe Carrie Ann agrees, I can see her profile picture. She's herself online, and I am too. So I'm not going to hide behind an avatar of, a field or a flower or something like that. I will be myself, and I don't mind if people see me. And that, in a way, it invites comments, but the other hand, people should know how to behave, and I shouldn't have to hide. And so I think that's how I've always played. So it really works out.
That's super interesting that you played with the Clash Babes, because actually my wife started playing back in 2016 or so, and she was a member of the Clash Babes back when she played. She was only there for maybe 6 months or so, but I wonder if you guys ran across each other.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah, that's interesting. And actually, that's kind of how Kat and I met back in 2016. I was warring with a clan called Morning Sword, and there were a bunch of guys in there who were members of the Clash Bows. And the Clash Bows had a direct relationship with the Clash Babes.
Yep.
We had a Valentine's event where we took our date to war.
I was in that.
And it's just super fun. So yeah, I was a part of that back in those. I had no idea that we had that connection. That's super interesting.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
I was there too.
Oh, interesting.
Crazy. Yeah. I was recruited to be a date or fill in for somebody. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's do this.
Yeah, so cool. Interesting. So I'm actually underneath Kat right now. And the guys in our clan show Kat a lot of respect. Of course, Kat's an excellent leader. But Kat, do you have any specific feedback about female clashers in Clash of Clans?
It's been a really good experience for me overall. I've always had a lot of strong support from the guys in the clans that I've led or been a co-leader in. So they've been really quick to keep guys in line who kind of, cross boundaries and things like that. But overall, I found the whole experience to be really wonderful, and the people in the clans super supportive of me. So I really haven't had any bad experiences at all.
So what about finding and keeping members? Have you found that being a female has maybe helped you recruit more, or is it just as difficult no matter what gender you are? Carrie Ann?
I don't think it matters what gender you are. I feel if you're more social, outgoing, and you spread your wings and talk to other people, you're going to have a better chance. You can't be quiet and just hanging back and hoping something's going to happen. You actually have to meet people. And I feel we have just as many talkative, chatty guys out there as we do females.
So you find that having conversations is what keeps people, more or less?
I feel that having conversations means that they're aware of you. They're aware of what you do. You know what they're up to. You know what they're looking for. I won't chat in somebody else's server and try to take anybody. It's just from being social in all different servers. Some of our old past alliances and such when you go and help out people for numbers. I've met a lot of people, and then if their clans start to retire and they're looking for more league play again, they'll reach out to me because we've already established a relationship. That's probably where I've had most luck, or word of mouth from people that I've played with. Hey, I know so and so. That is really the key where I've end up getting most of my people.
So, what do you guys use to recruit? I mean, I know that there's, of course, the in-game recruiting tool, which from feedback that I've heard is pretty crappy, but it is an option. And I know there's Reddit you can advertise on. There's also the Clash of Clans forums. Xena, have you used any specific tools to recruit?
I first started on Band to do recruiting, and then Band kind of died out, and then I went to the forums, Supercell forums, Discord. They have a recruiting channel on there. But the best retention I've gotten, or the best result for recruiting, has been on Reddit. I think that that's just a place that people who game in the community, who are the right fit for the type of clan that I lead, are there. You just get a better quality player. Also, one of the fun things to do is the behind the scenes work. I have a husband who's a graphic designer. And so I have really cool logos and recruiting materials that I put out there. I think that's pretty attractive to people that might want to join, as we look attractive. So for me, it's definitely been Reddit.
And Kat's actually our clan specialist when it comes to graphics and things like that. So she's really good at putting out those recruitment posters and things. Carrie Ann, do you use any of the tools, Reddit or Clash of Clans forums or anything like that?
None of the above. We've been doing Twitter forever, and we have some pretty humorous, if little quirks and I don't know, memes that we will use. But that Twitter's been pretty much it, and just the word of mouth talking to people.
Butters, I know that you're a part of the Clash Files family. Do you mostly get your players from CFF, or do you do any recruiting outside of that?
No, I think a lot of ours comes from Reddit also. I think that's when we see our biggest influx. Is one of our leaders, Starboard, posts it. She's awesome for that. I always got to shout her out because she's the one doing a lot of the recruiting. So Reddit seems to be really our biggest way to get people also.
So what about a screening process? Do you guys have a specific set of questions that you ask new players? Do you have town hall requirements? I know that, for example, when I was looking for a clan back when I got back in the game about 5 months ago, there was a heavy emphasis on Town Hall 13. In fact, I had taken my personal account to max Town Hall 10 and hadn't been in the game really since. So I was a new 11, and it was really hard to find a clan that was willing to take me. I actually eventually ended up with Xena and Iron Wolves, but do you guys have any requirements whenever you decide to take somebody in? Xena?
Definitely, because a rushed base is totally unattractive, and you're going to lose wars, and it's about winning. It's a war game. So I'm not going to take anybody that has a rushed and a base. So I have a requirement for heroes based on the town hall level: walls, defense, offense, research. All of these things are important. And if you have a base that's not run by somebody who cares about it, you're going to lose your wars. And so we definitely take a look. Age is another thing that I look at in somebody. I have never enjoyed playing with children. One is you can't control what other people are saying, and we use Discord a lot, and so I do not want to mix that, and I don't want to be a moderator, so I don't actually allow anybody in the clan under 25. Sure, they can lie and say, yeah, I'm 25, but you can see the maturity level pretty soon afterwards. You can tell they're not an adult. And so I do that to protect children, one, because they shouldn't be playing with an adult content type of clan, which I usually run, and to protect the integrity of the game.
So I know that the ability to get a 3-star, especially for a war clan, is really big. Let's say that you let somebody in and then you find out later on that maybe they're 14, 15, 16. Even though they're a good attacker, would you make some exceptions, or are you pretty hard and fast on that rule?
I would never make an exception. The youngest I've ever had in a clan has been maybe 23, bending the rules. And it's funny, that person actually placed top 5 in the United States. Genghis Clan was a wonderful player, and makes money now, is sponsored and everything. It's the youngest player I ever had. Very mature. So
Right.
I've
Which is super
never
important.
had a very young person, for me, in my experience, be very good at the game, and certainly not a Town Hall 13.
So what about you, Carrie Ann? Do you have a screening process that you use for new players?
Well, because we mostly focus on league play, we can't have a base that isn't maxed or heroes. And of course, there are potions. So if you're pretty close, we'll take a look at you, or we will suggest you to go into one of our sister clans where you can farm with some of our other accounts. As far as age, when I first joined their clan, they already had players. I think the youngest, like 16, 17, but they were pretty decent, mature. I mean, they would say some dumb things once in a while and we'd have to correct them. But it wasn't, if it would get out of hand, then they would just be gone. There wasn't any second chances, really. You messed up. But currently, we don't really have that many young players. A lot of them have grown up over the years. So those were the ones that we've had from the beginning and stayed forward. And obviously, they've been a good fit. The biggest thing is I always run scans on all the accounts of that person to make sure nothing's banned because I can't have a CWL banned account
Right.
at all. So
Right.
I do a lot of scans. I do Clash of stats on them. I'm looking to make sure that they are, if they haven't had that many league experiences, I've been totally cool letting them play with us and learning. Okay, let me know when you feel more comfortable paying attention to their hit rate. There's a lot of follow through with the people that we'll bring in. Just make sure that they don't feel overwhelmed. I try not to make them stress out over it because then you feel you're a good player, and then you are kind of like trying out with a clan, and then you're doing bad because you're pressured. I try to not stress them out. That's pretty much, yeah, that's the big part, is making sure that they're not banned anywhere and that they're legit people, because sometimes people have fake Discord IDs. I'll check that also. I guess I'm kind of a
Mhm.
security freak, but
Yeah, you can't never be too careful. I know that Red Thorn is pretty laid back when it comes to war attacks. I mean, we expect people to kind of know their stuff. But Kat, do you have a screening process whenever you let people into Red Thorn?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we want people to have balanced accounts. So for the most part, it's no rushed accounts. If I see that someone, maybe their heroes are a little bit low, but they're working on it, then we might let them in, or we have a clan that we can send people to work on balancing their account. Darkthorn, they can war heroes down there
So
until
I
they're
guess
ready to move over.
kind of a feeder clan, I guess, then.
Yeah, it's a clan that we made specifically for that purpose.
So I guess, Carrie Ann, you don't necessarily have a feeder clan. You just expect players, whenever they come into the game, to be a max town hall. That way they can war and league.
exactly, or pretty darn close. I mean, they don't have to have all their walls done. God knows I don't have all my walls done on every single account, but pretty close. And then I said, like, if they're pretty close, not they're right at the cusp, I'll let them go. I'm like, why don't you go into like one of our sister clans with some of our OGs who are laid back? They still war on a regular basis and get back up to speed a bit, and then we'll see how you do there, and we'll move you back over once you get a little further. So I won't just
Mm.
flat out say no. I just said you need to put some work into it first, and if you're willing to, then I'm willing to give you a chance.
Xena, do you have more than one clan, or do you kind of have a feeder clan that goes into Iron Wolves, or how do you manage that?
So in our heyday, the Iron Wolves had 3 clans, and we mostly did that with the advent of CWL, so we could keep everybody happy. I noticed when Clash of Clans came out with CWL, a lot of people, once you got higher up, they couldn't play anymore. You could only do 15 on 15 when you got high enough. And so we had to use 3 clans in order to get everybody in. Then we would shut one down and not use it. If it wasn't a CWL time, we would just run regular wars in the other 2. One was technically a feeder tip. That's the one you were in. That was Kings and
Hmm.
Queens. And then Iron Wolves
Hmm.
was our main war clan that was pretty much only Town Hall 12, Town Hall 13. But I found with Kings and Queens is people would think that's the feeder clan, but it would become their main clan and their home. And so even when they were ready to move on over to the Iron Wolves, they wouldn't want to because they had all their friends in the other one, and we're more casual, and I was fine with that. People can kind of clash wherever they like. So, and then now we've narrowed everything down. We actually yesterday we merged with another clan because our own, like myself, I've been playing for so long, and me and my 4 co-leaders have all been together for so long. All of us are max, and we don't log in a lot anymore, and So we actually merged yesterday into another clan where the leader is, like you, Tip, very energetic, very excited about the game, ready to do the CWL roster with enthusiasm. And so
Yes.
we were like, oh,
So exciting.
a lot of it is being a leader is to know when your clan is starting to get older. Everybody's max and everybody's semi-retired at this point. We've been together for so long. So what we did last night is we moved 20 of our accounts over into a new clan. And so we have our first war tonight. We're actually very excited about it. So that's, we went from 3 clans to 2 to 1, and now we're merged with another. So I'm actually excited about it to allow somebody else to lead.
So obviously, when you've been playing the game as long as you have, keeping the game interesting can be difficult. Obviously, there's some things that Supercell can do, as in coming out with new troops, coming out with new spells, coming out with a possible Town Hall 14 in the future. When that's going to be, nobody really knows. But keeping things interesting is obviously super important. One of the funnest members of this podcast team is the man himself, Butters. How do you keep things interesting for your clan?
I swear a lot. I'm the old grumpy guy, so it's kind of I yell at people a lot, tell them to be patient. So we're a teaching learning clan, so we get in a lot of new blood. So that kind of really keeps it interesting, and you get some new characters coming in, and we try to keep it light. We do have a lot of fun in KGH, so I think that really helps. Yeah, really just try to keep it light, have fun, let people call me grumpy when I am, and just kind of go with that.
Makes it fun though, right?
Yeah, I still have fun after all these years. It's all that young blood influence in it, and it keeps me a little bit younger.
Butters, do you have problem retaining players? So people,
because I'm old. Oh, I thought you were saying retaining attacks and stuff. Okay,
retaining your men. Do you have Alzheimer's yet, Butters?
a little bit. A little bit.
Do you have players that come and go, or do you have a pretty steady player base in Pineapple Hotel?
Well, Pineapple Hotel is really just the sleeping place for KGH. So new people coming in, they go through KGH, and then if their heroes are upgrading, they go to PH to war. So really, we retain a few, but you also lose a few. So some will last a couple weeks, some will stay for months, and then the few that stay for years seems to keep kind of smoothly going along.
So, Carrie Ann, I can imagine that you're approaching this from a little bit different perspective because you have to deal with league players. And I'm sure that recruitment to other, I don't know if you want to call them enemy teams, but opposing teams can be an issue for you. And how do you keep players interested playing at that high level? I can imagine that burnout happens, especially if you have a player maybe that's in a slump. I mean, I've experienced it myself where I'll go several wars without a 3-star. And honestly, it's just disheartening. How do you deal with that?
That is actually a pretty good question. A lot of people do take the game pretty personally, especially in league play. And I have lost people. They're like, I need to retire after this, or I need to sit out. A lot of extra personal DMs from me will start popping up when I feel somebody's down on themselves. Just recently, I talked to somebody. I'm like, hey, I didn't put you in this match. I'll put you in the next one. You made a comment that you're feeling a little out of sync. I'm like, so why don't you just chill? I'm like, I'm not going to replace you or anything, but just take a break. I mean, at least we have the luxury of being able to alternate some different people in different town halls. But I just try to be kind and keep motivating. And I'm like, what do you want to do? I'm like, okay, well, if you want to, I'll suggest things like, do you want to do some extra FCs, talk through it a little bit more? Let me know and we'll put you in the next one. I like to find different competitive things to do in the interim. Like CWL has always been our thing, but right now there's a lull because there might be a new town hall coming out. So therefore, we are doing a different league. We've never done MWL before. We're doing that right now with a lower BD, and I'm alternating some of the more experienced players and the less experienced players together so they can work together. I have a hard time when somebody rage quits. You're not going to really see me chase you down right away for that. I'm like, okay, you've been with me for 2.5 years. What's going on? It's just so hard to make people not take it personal. I mean, I have thrown my phone a few times and then some. I get it. I totally get it. And I've also like jumped up and down and held my breath because I tripled something, and you get so many different
Yeah.
reactions. But I really try to discourage them from quitting and giving up. And the only ones that I feel are valid are when they have like family, like, oh, I have twins. I'm like, oh my God, good
Yeah, and I
luck.
know that getting the 3-star is super important to people. I myself, I take it hard. If I can't 3-star, Kat has been there for me. I mean, I've talked to her about this, where man, I just can't get that hybrid strat, or I just can't get that Lalo strat. And whenever I don't 3-star, I I don't know, I just kind of sit there and I watch chat, and I guess I'm waiting for the comments, or I'm waiting for something to be said because I just failed, you know? And so I totally get it. Wanting to throw your phone, wanting to rage quit, all of that. We've all experienced that, of course, at Clash. But something that Kat, for example, has been really good at is whenever somebody does fail and you can tell that they're just frustrated, maybe they feel a bit miserable, they feel like they let the clan down. Kat, you're really good about, hey, pick yourself up, you're really good. What are some things that you say to a clasher whenever they go through something like that?
Well, it's just, I know how it feels. An attack goes wrong. You just want to reassure people that you're not going to get yelled at. The game, it's a game. And ultimately, we're all here to have fun, whether it's at the league level or just in casual play. And nobody should be made to feel terrible failing a hit, no matter what level you're playing at. You want to be supportive and encouraging. And that's basically what I want to do.
Zena, do you have any feedback on this?
You want to always take care of, in a way, your best players, the ones who can triple and who win the wars. Those are the ones who win the wars. And so if I have a town hall 9 or a town hall 10 that isn't getting their war hit in the first 12 hours of a war, that stalls everybody. And so I will address that with somebody, and I'm not
Mhm.
going to tell them they're an idiot or a moron to move on, but I'm going to say, hey, we have expectations. You need to get your war hit in tonight. And if you're not going to be able to play here, because you don't really want to frustrate the people who win the wars for you. And then the other one is, I'm sure you've all seen it. You're so competitive at this point that you only really ever get good players. But I'm more casual, and so I'm going to get somebody that's not very good and never will be. And so their warden is on air, and they've got some giants and a couple. They're like, let's do some minions here, and then I'm going to drop some gobs over here, and shoot, I forgot my healers, and I don't have any spells, and I've just dumped all my spells in the first 30 seconds. And so at my level, I still see the worst attacks you've ever seen. And so I do bring it up.
Okay.
I do mention it. So maybe I'm a little mean at sometimes when I see that, but I need people to pay attention. So maybe I do go off once in a while. I'll say, "What was that? Are you drunk?"
So you find your role being more of a teacher then, with a more, and I wouldn't necessarily say that Iron Wolves is a casual clan. They are casual from the sense that they don't do as much league play, but they're very serious
Yes,
when
we
it
want to
comes to
win.
CWL and war. How much do you find yourself teaching, and how much do you find yourself going, yeah, sorry, buddy, you suck. You just don't got it. You need to find another clan.
At Town Hall 13, I don't really teach. I'm more of a learner. So somebody, I'm going to hop on voice on Discord, and I'm going to go over my attack plan with somebody that's a better advisor than I am. Again, I'm not the best player. I'm just organized, consistent, calm, just kind of like I make a good atmosphere for a good clan. So I will teach. I love teaching, Town Hall 10s, and you teach them so like bats and ice golems and things like that. Just the really fun attacks. Enjoy that aspect. I don't so much develop a Town Hall 13.
So, Carrie Ann, I'm assuming that whenever a player gets to your clan, you expect them to know the basics. For example, you expect them to know how to funnel. You expect them to know where to place the poison. For example, how much of a leash will you give a player when it comes to just making bad decisions when it comes to war attacks?
Well, one of the part of the interview process also is, what attack strategies do you have? If I hear crickets, then I'm like, okay, we don't have that.
Sign number one.
That is kind of like a red flag. But as far as the current league players we have, my thing that I will definitely call out is like, we've tried this plan 2 times. We've gotten this far. Clearly, it isn't working. We need to change it. So if I see somebody thinking, oh, I'll try to rerun it and do like 1 or 2 things, I'm like, no, no, no. You need to just pretend we haven't even hit it. Look at the space from a different perspective. I'm like, we're not getting anywhere. I actually did that one today. I'm like, hey, no, no, hold on, hold your horses, because it was like the last Town Hall 12 up. We've hit it twice. We haven't got very far with it. I'm like, this is the last hit. We need to clear this one. And I get very emotional in the game chat. I'm like, no, no, listen, wait. Like I do little short words so they can see me before they like try to go right into attack. I'll try to pause them. That's one thing, is like trying to do a rehit for something that, it's just not working. And to be able to call that out. I don't see too many. I see like no planning sometimes, and there will be conversations about that. They're actually been really good about talking to each other in game more so than anything else. So I love seeing that. VCing is great, but we have such a huge international clan that that's really hard to come by. But you can partner up with, who my American girl or guy is going to be if I really wanted to have a spotter or something. But we try to avoid the basic mistakes. Most of them have been playing for years. We don't have to say much. It's just sometimes you get in a rut, or you just failed one. You want to hurry up and clean one because you're angry. You want to rage hit the next one. I'm like, no, no,
Mhm. Yep.
calm
Yep.
down. And I've done it too. So I for sure get it. And I've had people yell at me and I can take it. I'm like, you're
Mhm.
right. You're right. Let me,
Yeah.
walk away for a little
Yeah.
bit and I'll come back on. But
So do you guys have a requirement for voice planning, or back in the day we used to do Sketch. I'm not
yep.
sure if you all remember Sketch or not. The app has been taken off. Do you have a requirement for that for league play? I can imagine for me, if I'm involved with league play, I want to be on voice. I want to be sketching out my war attack. But do you guys have a requirement for that whenever you're doing league play?
Well, it's not a requirement, but people will discuss and talk. And we always will post up the bases in the war channel. People will talk in there, take the appropriate town hall level. Some people are better at certain attacks. They'll take those people personally to get their feedback. We do a lot of in-game talking. VC, not so much. Like I said, that one's a really hard one to get by. We used to do it more, but we just have people hitting all different time zones. And I feel like some people are shy and afraid to jump on voice with me. So until I'm proven wrong, that's what I'm going with. I'm not going to kick anybody or sit them if they don't do something. There'll be a conversation like, okay, I saw you hit like twice in 10 minutes. What's going on? Like, we have opt-out channels for a reason. So use them. Somebody else can play. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves, is just jumping in, hitting, and then leaving. That's not going to happen. That's a big no-no.
Butters, I know that you're involved with KGH Academy, which I would consider more of a teaching clan. So
Yeah.
people who are wanting to learn more 3-star strategies, what kind of path do you take with clashers in that clan specifically?
Personally, I like being mocked if I fail. If I fail badly, I do enjoy being mocked. We have a little channel. It's today I effed up, and I tend to post there quite often. No, if I see somebody that, because I've thrown my tablets and I've thrown my phone, I've went through 3 tablets, so I've done all that. If I see somebody that can take a little bit of humor to make it light, I'll kind of offer that. Now, obviously, in the league part of it, when you're in league, you're talking serious about it and you're being blunt, like Carrie Ann said, you're being blunt about attacks and what needs to be done to get a base cleared. So, but on the other side of it, we tend to be in the KGH, just in the randoms and the teaching part of it, to be only positive. Really, I don't do too much mocking unless it's already an established member for a while, like a Rusty. Then I'm going to go at him.
So I find it kind of hard that you were making fun of Kat and her $10 skins last
Yeah,
week
20.
when I find out that you're spending hundreds of dollars on new tablets that you throw after bad attacks.
Yeah, but that's out of anger, not for like wearing a little outfit. Like, and it's 20. She didn't spend 10. She spent 20.
20 Canadian, yeah.
So Xena, you mentioned that you're actually going into an alliance with another clan. You called it a clan merger. Have you been a part of alliances in the past, and how have you handled those?
You mean like a family?
Family, you could call it that, yeah.
Yeah, I have. I've been in like Buy Forever Family and a couple others. Lone Wolves was another I was in. I don't mind them at all. It's perfectly fine. I've always found that a lot of them didn't have the same requirements I did. And so, like, if you were going to do a war, hey, let's do all the Town Hall 12s, let's get them together and let's do a war. Half of them would war with their heroes down or something like that. And so, usually it didn't stick for me. And so I've always just run it with me and my 4 co-leaders just independently. And then we did some tournament play, ESL and things like that on the weekends for those who wanted that extra competitive side. But really, we've always been on that fringe of a clan nobody's ever heard about, but one that is super fun, has a lot of longevity, and has a pretty good war log. So I really like that mix where it's just right in the middle. It's a sweet spot.
I can imagine as a leader, though, if you're in a clan alliance or a clan family, maybe your leadership style doesn't exactly jive with the other clan leaders. Is that something you've experienced?
I can get along with anybody. So usually we would all get along. It was once we got there, we wouldn't have fun sometimes. And that's just my experience, where my clan, very competitive for what we want to do. And so we would move all of our accounts over. We would stop our regular wars, stop everything, move everybody over. Half the clan is like, where'd everybody go? All the little minis. And then they think you're falling apart.
Mhm.
And so it's just weird. And so we'd go over there and spend all this effort. And then, maybe the other clans would only have 5 people. So it's really, if we're running 35, 40 people wars all on our own, you don't really need to do a lot of the merging and joining. You're having a lot of fun just kind of on your own.
True. Carrie-Ann, are you guys a part of any alliance or clan family?
We used to be. We were part of the Lost Meta family with quite a few clans. Originally, it was with 2, 3, 4, and then it was, I think we finally ended up with like 7. In the beginning, it was a great idea because we all had the same motivation, ideals. Leaders were pretty much aligned in everything, and we wanted to get bigger and bigger. Wasn't really sure. Like, I really love the clans that we added to and got to know more people, but the numbers were getting a little bit unmanageable as far as, okay, who's doing what direction are we doing here? It seemed there's a lot of extra going on. It seemed like the original ideas that we had when there was just a couple was more intimate and easier to be on the same page and do the same things. Once you added more, it made it a little bit more confusing. It wasn't as personable as I liked. Since then, my
True.
clan has not merged or talked of merging with anybody because it was kind of a big blow because we did get attached to certain people we were with. So we're just kind of wanting to do our own thing and not have to rely on other people. Not like we really did, but we kind of got used to hanging out with the same group of people. We needed to focus back on ourselves and what we wanted to do as a clan, what we wanted to focus on. So we did have our experience. If I would ever want to do that again, I think I would be okay with it now because we have a lot of our core back to where we have wanted it from the beginning. But it can get a little messy when you have a lot of extra clans added into the mix. If it's controlled, yeah, I'd be all for it. A couple here and there, but a little bit more than that. I don't think it's always the best idea.
So this is actually a Clash Files clan podcast, and Clash Files has one of the biggest clan families that I know of. Super well organized. In fact, whenever Xena joined the Discord server, she commented on how amazing everything was organized. Of course, Fox is amazing whenever she comes to that. But Kat, you have been a part of the Clash Files family for quite a while in Redthorn. Do you have any feedback on clan families, how they're run, you being a part of one or anything like that?
I do, actually. I was in a clan called Holograves for quite a while, and we tried a number of different alliances, and none of them panned out. And then when we started Redthorn, we were on our own for quite a while. I was over in Kent Greenhouse on one of my alt over there, and I really enjoyed how the Clash Files work and just saw all the different opportunities for just fun events that they would run. Like they'd have the summer picnic war typing, and there's like 8 or 10 clans at the time that were part of the family. family, people would just get together and you just get to know everybody. And some people have alts in your clan. And then finally, like Red Thorn and Dark Sector were a small family on our own, sister clans. And then we just decided to merge into the Clash Files. It just made sense at the time, and haven't regretted it. It's been a lot of fun. I think it's made us stronger overall. Really enjoyed the experience.
And a lot of fun too. I mean, the Discord is hilarious sometimes.
It is.
Butters, did you come into the Clash Files family as a player, or did you bring a clan into the Clash Files family?
No, I came banging at the door. I was on just a little family clan, Siddz family clan, and then moved into KGH. So really, being part of the family's been most of my time on Clash has been with the family clan, which it's a lot of fun. You get so many different characters, and I think a lot of it because the CFF is really casual. It's, we have KGHA, which is just starting up as a war clan. And so most of the clans are all casual. So I think that keeps it a little bit different. It would be tough. A family clan of all war clans would be really tough to run, I would think.
Intense, I imagine. So one of the things that I think all of you leaders can agree on is the necessity of good co-leaders, the necessity of solid elders within the clan, just to support the clan mission, the clan goals, for donations, for coordinating clan attack, for base building. How do you judge when to make a member an elder, and when do you make that next step of making an elder an actual co-leader? Xena, do you want to start us out?
Sure. For me, I don't care about elder very much at all. So if they need to see a war, or they need to be able to let a little alt count in or something like that, I'm going to make them an elder, as long as I know they're not a child or not crazy. So if you were to look at my clan, pretty much everybody's an elder co-leader. They have to work for it. The sweet spot I found is five people to make it work. One they'll do recruiting in Discord. That's usually me. One does the league stuff, doing those rosters, the signups. That's a lot of work. One will do CWL. Those rosters are really a lot to do, especially if you're running 3 different ones at the same time. Somebody runs the regular wars, and for me, having 5 people was just enough to where you weren't burning yourself out. But it wasn't too many voices in the room either, and so you could all get along and make decisions relatively quickly about when to do this and when to spend that. That was really, like, for me, running a clan with those 4 really great friends has been probably the most fun that Clash has to offer.
So no 500 donations and you get co-leader?
Nope.
What about you, Carrie Ann? I can imagine, especially at the higher level, League Wars, you really have to depend upon your co-leaders organizationally. I mean, as war generals, how do you handle all of that?
It's not been easy, but it's manageable. I won't lie. So if you would actually see how many co-leaders I have in EOV, there are 8. But of those 8, a lot of them are OGs. And now one has a new baby, another one has a new baby. So they have definitely stepped back a little bit. They'll pipe in here and there. I'm not going to remove or not going to take anybody away from leadership because they have a new real life experience. That's just not ever going to happen. They're our family. As far as organization, so for instance, I'm pretty much a part of any rep group that we do. I might have somebody else be like the main, but I'm still lingering to know what's going on, help out, pitch in, or I'll be the main rep. I think I'm probably the most active one, so I want to know what's going on at any given time. I just have to make sure things, we have all of our ducks in the row. I have some great support though. There's a girl who's amazing, Erica. She helps me all day long. Ivar, he helped me. I taught him. I'm teaching people the strings a little bit more because some of them haven't done the rosters. They haven't played with the spreadsheets. I just learned the spreadsheets because I always had somebody else did it for me. It's a learning process all in itself right there, besides just handling the wars. But the co-leaders I have, I guess the biggest thing is delegating from me and what I see. I kind of like to try to do it all, but I know that's not a good idea. So I've learned to trust the people. I have talked to a couple of our long-term players that have showed me like I could trust them. They'll show up, they'll do their thing, they're active. I may potentially be reaching out to them because we do a lot of arranged wars. We do a lot of potlucks, do the leagues, a bunch of different leagues, a lot of different venues. So I need somebody that is responsible, that won't mess up my spin. Because that can happen, and understands time zones. That is a big thing here.
That is a big part.
We don't do elders either. Everybody's an elder if they've been in the clan for a while. Just helps it easier for people to move in and out with their donating accounts. So I agree, Zena. That's just kind of a given. If we know you, you're good.
So, Butters, I know that you have to leave for some league play here pretty soon, but what do you do for
Yeah.
co-leaders and elders, and how do you make that determination?
Yeah, we usually do monthly promotions. Now our co-leaders are useless. Orko, OU, Tor. Most of co-leaders are really useless except for Kat and Star. It's good for the show because it's
Yep,
women
amen.
that really run the home and do everything and take care of everything. Honestly, without our females in our clan, we'd be useless. So yeah, our co-leaders are pretty good. And yeah, we do promotions monthly. Elder does mean a little bit in KGH just because a lot of it are new coming in and you just can't let the inmates run the jailhouse. So yeah, we get a little bit stricter, I think, on the elder, but all in all, yeah, we do monthly promotions. That's pretty well how we handle
So,
it.
Butters, what advice do you have for maybe new clans that are starting out? Or I know there are a lot of clans that don't have a strong of an alliance, or maybe they just don't have the strong leadership structure. What would you recommend for a new clan or a clan that's maybe struggling a little bit out there?
Find a cat.
We can't all have cat.
No, but it takes somebody that's at the top. And don't get me wrong, Rusty's a great leader. I'm kind of throwing Rusty under the bus, but I like it. No, he's a great leadership. You need the people at the top to be consistent, to keep things rolling, to lay down the law when you have to lay down the law, boot people when you have to boot people, promote people when they should be promoted, and if you have the good people at the top running it right, the members, and it follows.
Zena, what would you have to say about new clans?
And I'm going to say goodbye, everybody. It was great. It was a really great show. I love listening to the two ladies that came aboard. It was great being here, but I do got to run.
See you,
Bye,
Butters.
Butters.
Thanks, Butters.
Toodles.
See ya.
Bye, Butters.
Zena, what would you have to say about maybe new clans that are starting out or clans that are struggling to keep members, find members, any of that?
So I started the Iron Wolf from scratch. I was the only person. It was my little love child. And so when I did that, I did not start at a level 1 clan. I found a dying level. I made sure it was level 10, so I'd have all the perks that people are going to look for, the donation perks and things like that. So I found I think it was a level 12 clan that I got in a poker match with somebody. So that's how I got the Iron Wolves.
Very nice touch.
So I wanted a good home that had potential. So level 1 was just not going to happen for me. The other thing is I voluntold four of my friends that they were coming to join me, and they were willing to do that. So you have to rough it for a while. You maybe lower your standards slightly, let some lower town halls in, maybe than you used to, play multiple accounts. So I have 7, so I would play all 7, and I'd have my accounts talk to each other like, "Good job, great donation."
That's great.
So I'd talk to myself, and I'd make my clan look so much more amazing than it actually was.
So, Xena, we're going to have an episode on mental health issues in Clash of Clans. We may have to bring you back on for that.
Yes, there was a little bit of pepping yourself up. Of course, you have to have good donations. Max donations. Siege is another thing. So you can't do any clan without a Town Hall 12, Town Hall 13 that are donating constantly. So that good recruiting, good retention, people who are active, your buddies who don't mind if you lose a couple wars and will stick with you. That's a big thing. So you cannot do it alone. Well, that's my number one thing is I had to have people who are willing to come in and build with me. And honestly, the Iron Wolf went from within a month, went from just me thinking of it on a vacation one day to having a Discord, having 4 co-leaders, winning wars. It's a lot of fun. It grew quickly.
How about you, Carrie Ann?
If I were to start from scratch, I would definitely make sure I had at least a couple good friends that I could rely on to help me because, yes, it would not be a one-person show. And I definitely would not take on more than I could handle. Something might look great and bigger. I'm like, oh, we can do this. We can do this. In reality, it's like, no, what the heck were you thinking? You definitely need to pace yourself. I wouldn't be able to suggest ever just jumping right in. Oh, we're going to take on the biggest BD offered and this and this. You need to start small and go from there. And that does sound like a good idea. If you can find a town hall or a level 10 clan, that would only make things that much easier. They're all over the place. I'm sure somebody can find one pretty easily. But I don't have that much experience starting one because I never have. But that just makes that just makes sense to me. Not to bite off more than you can chew. Know who you can rely on. And yeah, if I have several accounts, I may end up having to put all of them in more until I get some people. But
How many accounts do you actually have, Carrie?
I would say like 20.
So, Carrie Ann, we're going to have this episode in the future about mental health and clashers. We might have to have you back for that episode.
And I strategically name them all from real life experiences in Clash or out of Clash. My favorite named one is called Lucy Five Sons because if you know Lucy and Peanuts, she does a lot of mediation. She is the psychologist, so sometimes I feel like I'm playing psychologist in Clash with some of my people. So therefore, that's where her name came from.
It's a great name.
Lucy rocks.
Awesome. I think we'll just move into some rapid fire questions now for both of you ladies. Just short answers and we'll see where it takes us. Xena, what's your favorite offensive troop on the main base?
Super Wall Breaker.
Carrie Ann?
Ice Golem, baby.
Why would that be?
I like to use it for leading a charge. I like to use it leading any kind of siege, like your wall wrecker or log launcher. It just gives you that extra boost in seconds of protection. And you usually have a hero like your queen behind that can start taking out some other trash. So
Cool.
Typically survival. There you go.
Okay, favorite offensive troop on the builder base, Care?
I like those cannon guys. They're cool.
They are. What about you, Xena?
I am not a fan of the builder base. I go there for clan games when I have to. I have never ever embraced it. So to this day,
So what you're saying
like
is you don't have a favorite
Join the
troop on the
club.
builder base.
There is no favorite. Who's the little
the
hero?
builder
What's his name?
Otto. Isn't it Otto?
Yeah, I don't have that either. You have to unlock that one.
Xena, not even the hall glider?
I don't even know what it is. I don't go over there.
What about your favorite super troop, Xena?
Oh, so first you said regular troop. So my favorite super troop is the super wall breaker because it's forgiving and you can really mess up your attack and it's still going to blast that wall. And then like Carrie Ann said, my other favorite troop would be the Ice Golem.
Carrie Ann, what's your favorite super troop?
I love my super giants. I like big tanky guys. I mean, super giants.
Butters already left us, so he's our
What's
big
your
tanky
favorite
dude.
defensive building on the main base? Xena?
I think probably Scattershot.
What about the builder base? Or maybe I shouldn't ask you about that one.
Nope, don't ask.
How about you, Karen?
On the builder base, it would definitely be the lava launcher. And on the real base, I actually like the Giga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can mess your whole world up.
Okay, here's a fun one. If you could be any Clash character, which would you be and why? Carrie Ann?
Oh, I low-key would definitely be a headhunter. Yep. I want to take down who's in charge and clear a way for the rest of my people. Yep, that's definitely...
Xena?
Very nice, very
I'd
nice.
be Valkyrie. It seems kind of, I don't know. They're strong. They know what they're doing, and they're going to take out 2 defenses at once. I love it. They're smart.
Very nice. Well, we're so glad that you guys joined us for this episode. You both are amazing. Everybody's amazing. Kat's amazing. Butter's amazing. I really appreciate your patience with me as the MC. I'm still kind of learning the role. So if anybody who's listening has any suggestions for us, for me as an MC, we do have a way that you can ask us questions in the Discord channel. So please send us those questions. We'll be more than happy to read them on air, try to answer them the best that we can. I'm not saying that it will be the absolute best answer, but it will be an answer. And let's go ahead and do shout outs real quick. I wanted to shout out Hizzle from Xena's clan. I know he's one of her main co-leaders. He was a great help to me whenever I first got back into the game back in November. And I'm not sure he'll even listen to this. And I recently reconnected with an old House of L clan member, Mailman Matt, and I want to say hey to him and remembering all the good times that we had. Kat, do you have any shout out?
Just want to shout out basically Rusty and Butter. They've always been really supportive at KGH for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me today.
You have any shout outs?
Hizzle, of course. Hizzle, Fletch, Honey Badger, and Cash. Those are my co-leaders for so long. So they're all very dear to me, and I don't even feel awkward telling them all I love them. So love you guys and appreciate everything.
Marianne?
I can do all kinds of shout outs. I'll keep it simple-ish. Erica, I love her. She's amazing. She's been great for me and our clan. Ivar, he's been my stronghold. ODS isn't part of my leadership team, but he's a good sounding board and he puts up with me when I am overtired and saying nonsense. Oh yes, we can dip. Oh wait, no. That's been great. And really everybody that I've ever met is amazing. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. So that's the scoop.
I just want to say thank you very much, ladies, for sharing your experiences and insights with us. And as always, to our listeners, please send us your ideas on what you want to hear on the show. Send us your thoughts and comments on Twitter at KGH Podcast or hop into our Discord server at discord.gg/clashfiles. Thanks for listening.
Guess I'm ready for war, like I've been here before. Feel the sweat on my hands, it's time to play Clash of Clans. Training my troops up to fight, it's gonna be a long night. Toss and turn in the dark, soon the fighting will start. I wanna be a barbarian, I wanna live the life they lead. Standing tall, smashing walls, doing whatever it takes to succeed. I wanna be a barbarian, like I'm never coming back. Ready for war, thirsty for more, leaving all fear and regrets in the past. Countdown starts, it's bleed, I hear the fight is free. Flashing swords have sung, the war has finally begun. Nervous fingers shake, is this the time I will take? Restarts for my clan, will they give us a chance? I wanna be a barbarian, I wanna standing tall, smashing walls, doing whatever it takes to succeed. I wanna be a barbarian, like I'm never coming back. Ready for war, thirsty for more, leaving all fear